So today we got, the weather is cleared up and we have post-frontal conditions, which we're going to be fishing, which is going to be interesting. I know that last time this happened, we had big bass show up in numbers because it went from having no bait around to having a lot of bait around. And it was really the beginning of the fall run. But the other thing that happened is we had a really strong west wind. So basically what that means is it's gonna clean up the water in a few places, it's gonna make it dirty in some other places, it's gonna make it tough to fish some areas, and hopefully it does what it did last time, which is blew some fish in. That's basically what we're crossing our fingers for at the moment, because it has been wicked slow the last couple of days. I would like it to heat up a bit, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna do kind of the same game plan as I did the other day, where I just drove around a lot, looked for action, looked for interesting water, and if something really seems fun and seems interesting, then I'm gonna stop and take some casts at it. Yeah, I mean, that's really what the fall run's about. When you want to catch big bass on top water, which is primarily what I do, you gotta look for fish that are breaking the surface a lot of the times, or you gotta look for places that have good structure and that the fish are gonna stage up in, and the struggle that we all have to go through to catch these fish. It's what makes it fun. Because then when it all comes together, it's just that much sweeter. And it has been a slow couple of days, and by slow couple of days, it's been a slow week, I would say. We've had fishing, you could tell me it's the middle of August and I'd believe you. Alright, I'm gonna throw my gear in the car and take it from there. Alright, well, it's gotten fairly cold out recently, so it's really feeling like mid-October now, finally, where it's been so warm for so long. I was thinking that it was going to be a pretty late season, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody flipped a switch and now it's the middle of the winter again. So yeah, it's middle of the winter, but it's definitely feeling fall. Like today was the first day where my hands were cold reeling this morning. I gotten a few schoolie sized bass this morning, nothing crazy, but there was some blitzes, which was nice to see. Seems like there's a wave of fish that's kind of pushing through, and that's always good. And there's tons of bait around, so there should be some opportunities here to find some bass today. And the fish have been, for the most part, fairly mid-ranged, between like 25 and maybe 35 inches. There's not been a lot of bigger bass than that around, so it's been a little bit of a struggle to find anything of crazy size, but there is definitely like pods of nicer fish. It's been tough because a lot of it's been offshore, so we've been dealing with that, where the fish are just not in range, which is, it's always annoying, and you're just watching them from 100, 200 yards away from you, just not pushing in, and then they're moving so fast too. It's like all season the bass have been moving unbelievably quick, so that's been tough too. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm just gonna drive around, I'm gonna do some more glassing, and I'm gonna go see if I can't find some fish. I'm waiting for the tide to turn a little bit here, and I'm hoping that once the tide turns, we'll get into some bigger feeds, and like those bass should like turn on for a little bit, at least at the top of the tide once it turns. So that's what I'm going for right now, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on what happens. All right, let's see if we can't see anything here. There we was some fish here earlier today. There's definitely some birds still flapping around. There. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really know what I want to do. Particularly, I don't have any plans. The thing is, right when like the tides go from slack to then changing, is a great time to have fish begin to feed. So what I'm basically going to be looking for is fish beginning to feed here, and that's what I'm trying to see. Yeah, there's some stuff way the hell out there that's happening. It's just with this wind and everything, it makes it a little bit, it's very windy and it's very cold. And there's like trains and cranes and all sorts of crazy stuff happening in front of me. All right, we're good. But yeah, so I'm basically looking for any sort of birds working, bait in the water, just the usual thing to see if there's any fish around, and if anything looks interesting to me, I'm gonna pull over and take some casts at it. This time of year, that tends to be the best method to run into fish, is to drive around and see if you can't see anything and then go start fishing. It seems like for the most part you're going to get into bass more consistently if you do that than you would if you just try to hunker down and fish one spot. And the other thing that's always interesting about the fall is there'll be fish in places that there's not normally fish, water that doesn't normally hold a lot of fish, if there's bait there. So it's so bait dependent in the fall, and it just plays such a big factor into everything, that when you're fishing in the fall, you really just want to look for bait primarily, and if you can find bait and birds and that stuff, then you're gonna find some fish. Anyway, doesn't seem like there's anything in this spot, so we're just gonna move on and continue our hunt. All right, well, so basically I am back where we were seeing fish and catching fish this morning, and there's a lot of birds sitting in the water, but it's not a lot of bait. Definitely birds sitting in the water this time of year, especially when there's cormorants like swimming, then there's generally bait around if that's happening, or something just happened. So it's always worth giving it an extra look. Alright, I hope you guys liked that video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I have a lot of cool stuff coming up that I filmed this fall, so I'm super excited to share that with you. So if you want to see that stuff, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.